about 60 seconds, we're going to bring our next truly epic speaker. And let me allow the introduction. Pedro Curbelo. Jet Money. Pedro Curbelo, a serial entrepreneur who migrated from Cuba as a teen with just the clothes on his back, was homeless at 16, became a millionaire at 24, was bankrupt by 28. Curbelo has more than 2 decades in business. He has led over a dozen ventures and coached business owners and entrepreneurs, leading them to growth with combined sales exceeding $1 billion in goods and services. Today, Mr. Pedro Curbelo is a licensed risk manager, exit strategy coach, private jet broker, and insurance broker. He owns and operates multiple companies. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome with a big round of applause Mr. Pedro Curbelo, about to present his truly epic talk, truly epic story, Jet Money.
I'm elated to be on this stage. A few years back, there we go. A few years back, Juan approached me with an epic idea. And it's been a process ever since, from Juan creating his next film feature to this now. So about an hour ago, I finally got the concept. I came prepared to say something, but I'm just gonna wing it, because I finally got Juan's vision. This guy is a true storyteller. He knows how to do it with visuals. I'm not. I'm just a guy who is here to tell you his story, not his glory. I want to give Juan a round of applause, because it takes a lot to put together what he's put together. Also, Benny, who I just met, has a great story, great follow through. So it's kind of hard for me to follow such big guys. So again, I'm just going to tell you my story. To some people, it's inspirational. To others, it's motivational. What I want out of my story is for one of you guys to either change what you're doing because you found your true calling, or to tell my story to someone else that you can change their lives. I have an example in this room and why I tell my story on changing. And it's that young man over there who I met about 4 or 5 months ago. And I changed his life by telling him my story and bringing him into my network. And I accelerated his income to about $150,000 a year. Just by my story, just by what I do. I get a kick out of that. So here I am, I'm gonna tell you my story. Jet Money. That's what you see. That's what everybody sees. The guy coming off private jets, the lavish lifestyle. Not. I work very hard to do what I do, and it's taken me 20 years to get to where I'm at. So I was born in Cuba in 1977. Yes, that's me. I was born with a beard. Hello, it takes a lot to manicure this. So that was me. I was born in extreme poverty. I'm the youngest of 5. 4, but there was another adopted child in my family, so I'm the youngest of 5. Grew up in hardship. By the time I was 11 years old, I was selling door to door. So I was going out with my father, who happened to be an artist, much like Juan, but he was instead of a visual artist, he was a sculptor or a glass maker. And that's when I first kind of noticed that I had a personality and telling a story, because a salesperson, much like Juan said earlier, has to tell a story for people to buy their product. So I went door to door at the time of 9, 10, 11 years old, selling glass with my dad. So that kind of gave me the basis concept on something that I enjoyed and how to do it. So fast forward a little bit, migrate to the United States when I'm 14. By the time I'm 16 years old, I'm a homeless kid. I'm a homeless teenager in high school, but I knew the value of education, so I didn't want to quit school. I kind of wanted to do what my parents taught me to do, which was go to school, get a degree, and get a job, and live happily ever after. I really didn't know how to do that, but I did stay in school. By the time I was 19 years old, I was managing a small cell phone store. And why I was managing a small cell phone store, because right after high school, I took a job delivering cell phones for the guy who ended up managing his stores. This time, at 18, was the first time I saw a man wearing a suit. That's why I choose to wear a suit or something like a suit today, because it kind of symbolizes where I'm going and who I've been. Never, ever before I had met anybody who owned a suit, let alone wore a suit. I thought that was something from the movies. So here I am, a group of guys, Colombians, Venezuelans, Cubans, Puerto Rican, wearing suits, making six-figure income. And I was flabbergasted. I'm like, wow, I could do that. So I worked my way up through the sales floor, through the back room doing deliveries, to the sales floor, and I had a knack for it. I could just talk to people. I was cold calling, made enough money, learned enough, where this guy gave me an opportunity to manage his stores, and from there, a complete stranger took a notice of me and called me out and put me in a position of partnership because I had the ability to sell and the willingness to move forward. So I remember standing, I was 19, 20 years old, in the middle of Little Havana, looking at a building, and this older gentleman telling me, I own that shop. Inside that shop, you have everything you need to become successful. I'm gonna fund you. Put your money where your mouth is. I'm not gonna pay you anything but 50% of what you bring in, and you're gonna be equal partner to me. And I said, man, go ahead. Because I believed in myself. I knew what I had done prior. By the time I'm 24 years old, I'm a millionaire. Now, I don't know what it means to be a millionaire. I really don't. I just worked my butt off. I followed what this older man knew. He was already a multi-millionaire. And this picture means a lot to me because this is the first time I signed $1 million contract. I was in the cell phone industry, much like Juan, and we have a lot in common. And I hustled my way through a Verizon exclusive dealer. And I promised them XYZ sales, which I knew I could get, in exchange for $1 million. And the $1 million came with advance payments on, back then it was called co-op money, which was advertising money, et cetera, et cetera. So that picture was, or is, the meaningful to me because of, I made it. I'm here, I'm a 24-year-old kid who was homeless not too long ago. I had 2 small kids at the time, and I'm making 7 figures a year. What I didn't know was what's coming next. That making a lot of money came with a lot of responsibilities, and I did not have the education for that. So by the time I'm 26 years old, I'm divorced, bankrupt, with 2 little kids, raising them on my own, and trying to find the next investor or the next person who can guide me into success. I didn't find that next person. So I took a job, and I had to kind of lower my head. I said, well, now is the time for me to become educated. So I went into a company called Tyco, who offer free education. I've never heard of the term, but I said, well, they're gonna give me free education. I'm gonna go work for them. And at night, I worked selling cell phones at the mall. And during the day, I took their classes. It was risk management classes. And I became a superstar. And I became a superstar because I liked money and I knew how to sell. And I was cocky as hell. And I was lucky that I was the only Hispanic employee in that company. Out of 1,700 employees, I was the only one who spoke Spanish. So I sold my language to the American-speaking employees. I said, well, I'm going to translate for you with split commission. So the older, much more educated, with a lot more sales in their portfolio, gave me the kind of like the bump because I spoke the other language. So within a year, I'm Rookie of the Year. I'm making 6 figures. I'm back on my feet. And I'm trying to make it within 2 years. I'm making 33% income for my bosses out of their income. I was the guy who brought in 33% of the sales out of my team I'm a superstar, and I said I used to own a business, I could do it again. So I go into business again. And now I open a risk management consulting firm in the fire and security industry. Did great. This is the late 2000s, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did excellent. I made $1 million again. I'll never forget this. It's 2008. I had $980,000 in my bank account. And I said, I'm good. The recession just started. I'm seeing all craziness in the news. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm fine. I had 17 employees. Everything's fine. I don't have a problem. 2 years later, I filed for bankruptcy. Because I knew how to make money. I didn't know how to keep it. I had no education how to keep my money. So now I'm kind of down again. I have to build it. I'm upset at the industry that I'm in, but I had an education. I had a basis knowledge that I could now sell to the world. And this knowledge was risk management. I can take pretty much anything that looks like it's gonna lose, and through what I had learned, I could bet against that loss. And that was a hustle. So I transferred my knowledge into the healthcare industry. And I went in and I took a job making $150,000 a year less of what I was used to making, just to learn the industry. So I waited. I said, well, I can go back to school and get an education in healthcare management, or I can get paid to get an education. So I chose that. I took a job in healthcare. Within 2 years, I'm back on top. I built a $40 million company with 300 physicians. I am not a physician. I'm not a clinician, but I can sell. I know risk, and I can motivate people to do what they already know how to do, but they're afraid. Kind of like what Benny says. The company did great. It was on the Obamacare period, and then through politics, the company went belly up. And I transfer that knowledge into risk management through insurance. I built another company. I go at it again, and some of the people in this room saw me build that company. And life just took a turn where I couldn't keep it. My partner was not in the same space as I was, but that company, that venture, gave me the opportunity to do what I do today, which is my overnight success story, which is the private jets, which is the lavish lifestyle. Because through that company, I was sitting in a little tiny room and going, this car insurance thing is not gonna pay out. I have bigger dreams. I gotta go big or go home. But my network at the time did not consist of millionaires and billionaires. Now I had a network of physicians who are well off, but they cannot afford private jets. They can't. How do I get there? So, well, where are these people? I thought they were at the airport landing in private jets. So I get up and I go to the airport and I do what I know how to do best, build the business. I'm gonna cold call on complete strangers. I'm gonna tell them who I am. I'm gonna tell them where I come from, and I'm gonna make them believe in me and giving me business. I knew nothing about aviation. I'm not an aviator. I cared nothing for the aviation industry, but I did care on, I know risk, I know how to sell, I know how to talk to people. I happened to meet the owner of one of the airports down here in Miami, who saw something in me and gave me an opportunity, and I started insuring aircraft. I insured my first aircraft. I did not know what I was doing. I told this gentleman, I don't know what I'm doing. He goes, I don't care, but your story is quite amazing. If you figure everything else out, you figure this out. By the way, my broker just died, but I believe in you. I'm gonna give you my insurance policies. So I looked at the risk. I called a guy who knows a lot more than me. He taught me how to do it, and I started insuring private jets. So a year into the private jet insurance business, I go to a convention, and in that convention, I see a broker. For the first time, I see what a private jet broker looks like. Guess who that broker looked like? No different than you and I. I'm like, wait a minute. Where did you go to school? Didn't. Well, okay. How'd you learn this business? Are you a pilot? Not really. This guy just launched himself into aviation, was making 7 figures. I've been in the business for a long time. I said, anybody can be a broker. I said, you're kidding me. What do I need? He goes, you need a set of stuff. So I got that. I've done a lot of stuff. Would you coach me? Absolutely not. But I'll tell you where you can go. Long story short, I come out of that aviation show saying, I could do this. This guy is making a couple of $1 million a year, selling private jets. And I heard his story, which motivated me. I said, I could do this. I'm just going to call myself a private jet broker. And I'm going to create an advertising hustle to bring in that private jet client. Now, mind you, all I know about private jets is I know how to insure them. I know the risk behind it. But I really don't know what it takes to be a broker. So I went into the private jet industry. My first deal, I partnered up with a guy who I did not know, and I did not know the industry. And my commission, who I was excited to earn, got stolen from me because I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. I trusted someone else, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is a big industry. This is something that can never happen to me again. So I partnered up with the right person. I did exactly the same thing I had done with the private industry. I said, I'm either going to get paid for my knowledge, one way or the other, or I'm going to pay someone for their knowledge. So I partner up with someone who knows a lot more than me, and I said, hey, I'll give you $150,000 for you to teach me what you know. This guy thought I was crazy. He's my partner today in aviation. He goes, what do you mean you're going to pay me to know what I know? He goes, like, I've never done that. I'm a pilot. I'm a broker. I said, yeah, but you're not a salesperson. I am. You know how to fly. You know how to evaluate the sale of an aircraft. But what I've seen from you so far, you don't know how to sell a private jet. He goes, all right, bring me a client. Because I already got it. Because I already had a client. We worked our first client. And because I did not know aviation, and I did not know what this gentleman knew, I sold what I know how to sell best, which is risk. And I sold my first client the risk of not losing through an aviation acquisition. Long story short, I sold my first commission private jet sale. And it just went up from there. Where now I'm at the airport with an office overlooking the landing strips, and some of my clients are the richest people in the world. Now they know I don't have the acquisition power they have, but they know I know how to structure the acquisition of a private jet in a way that's going to benefit them. They know who I am, they know what I stand for. They know that I'm going to deliver for them. And I've developed this private jet network that they say your network is your net worth. And it's kind of becoming that, where every day I am getting guys who I look up to seeking my knowledge, seeking my services. That's my story. That is not my glory, because I'm still in the industry, I'm still growing. And I want to thank you for your time, because I know we don't have a lot. Thank you.